Before there we go. Howdy hey, howdy hey, howdy hey, howdy hey, good neighbors. Yes, it's time once again for the Hinkle program. I am Hinkle. This is my program. We're coming to you almost live, just about Britain here, from the Ashley Kringen studio of the Alberta Advocate Media International headquarters. And my goodness, look at that, would you? It has. This is not Prairie Home Companion. It has not been a quiet week in Cornfield County. No, sir. It has not. I've been, in spite of working 40 hours at a certain retail establishment that shall remain nameless for now, I managed a couple different times over the last 7 days to get over to the brand new Ron and Shelah Gates theater. Excuse me. I'm not in Halliburton. I mean, I have to speak proper English. I has to speak proper English. The Ron and Shelah Gates Theater. Yes, over at the Dakota Wesleyan campus. They're not too far from the Dakota Discovery Museum. And it's a really state-of-the-art, that word is probably overused, but it definitely applies here. They've got, and of course, it's all new, so of course everyone's in love with it. The only thing that, the only drawback to having this new is that we all know what's going to happen. Hughes Hall is going to be further neglected. Eventually, Hughes Hall will go under the wrecking ball, and Miley Cyrus is going to show up naked and swing on down to the thing and bust that all the heck. And the Pat Wing Theater is going to be a thing of the past, along with all the other things at Hughes Hall that have become a thing of the past already. So, but I hope that folks keep part of their a little fondness in their heart for the Hughes Hall and Prather Hall, I understand, is also going to be eventually. And all these venerable buildings of our past. And, it is nice that the campus is growing and that the enrollment is growing and that the need for fancy new multi-million-dollar buildings is growing. But I don't know. I hate to see us bulldozing the past just to make way for the future. But I guess that is the way life is. Out of the ashes, the newborn phoenix arises. At least that's what my good buddy Janie says to me. So she knows all about rising. So anyhow. I've been there a couple. I went to the dedication of the Ron and Shelah Gates theater, and see Ron and Shelah, real good folks. They Methodists like me. Well, not just like me. Ron has had a certain amount of success. Well, he has to be. He gives out $1 million to different people. I should say different organizations, charitable and otherwise. He gives out $1 million checks like most people give out a stick of gum, but that's nothing wrong with that. If you got the money and you can do that, not much good, because money is a whole lot like manure. You pile that up and it's all kind of, it stinks like the devil. But you spread that manure around just like you spread the money around. It does a lot of good, and he does a lot of good with his money, and I don't begrudge him that at all. And I found out that he and Shelah only been married 5 years, and I'll tell you one thing: if she married him for his money, she gonna, well, she She probably has earned it by now, but that's not. And that, but like, they're good though. Well, they're good folks. Not just because they're Methodists, but because they are just good folks. I know I got a chance to get to know them. There was a charitable event. we were at the same charitable event that it was. It only cost like 20. It was 15. Oh, it was a combination lasagna dinner and live game of Clue, which only the Methodist youth ministry figured out how to do that, and they took the money. They took the money, and they took the money, and that's how it. Have I been talking for 6 minutes? My goodness. Well, anyhow, because I haven't even got half of what I got to say done here. I'm just laying down the background, for goodness sake. Anyhow, so I went to the dedication, and then I went yesterday, Sunday. I went to the closing performance of the musical review, and that was real nice. It was a lot of the original cast were not able to be there because they have graduated. They moved on to bigger and better things. There were a couple of graduates. There was one graduate who is now a music teacher in Selby, and his name escapes me because it's 2 miles long. This dude, Kurt. I remember Kurt is his first name, and he's got like a 2 mile long last name, like he's typical German fella, and he's nice guy. He just got a long name that I can't remember. And he came over to break in the new theater, and he was impressed, as indeed we all are. The closest negative thing that I've heard about it is what I've said. And now the only negative thing is that now that they got that, they're going to completely forget about Hughes Hall. Anyhow, and so that's and it was the original cast didn't show, and it was so it's kind of hard to show highlights from a show when the original person that made the highlight isn't there to share, but it was still nice, and it's nice to see the new crop of Wesleyan theater folks were gracious enough to step in where needed, and they did a fine job. Not just a good job, but a fine job. They did an extraordinary job, you might say, and that's. As a matter of fact, they did such a fine job that I'm kind of tempted to go to the Pepsi-Cola and get out of retirement again and go see if I can get a part in that It's a Wonderful Life show. Now, I ain't gonna try to be no George Bailey, because my body type is not exactly akin to heroship. I learned that back in high school. No, sir. I believe my best bet, if I shaved, and if I do, I might be able to. I used to be able to do a pretty good imitation of Lionel Barrymore, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to find that somewhere. I'm not sure where it is. This is sentimental hogwash. I'm talking about the building and loan. Have you put any pressure on your people to pay up? What are you doing, running a charity ward? Not with my money, you're not. Because I gotta find that So even if it doesn't sound like Lionel Barrymore, if it sounds, because Lionel Barrymore was one of the quintessential heavies of the Capra movement in theater, and that is to say, Mr. Potter was. He was the richest and meanest man in the county, and the quintessential, like I say, heavy, the bad guy. Edward Arnold was good in Miss Smith Goes to Washington, but he wasn't. He didn't have nothing on old Henry F. Potter. Anyhow, I guess we'll see how that goes. And, well, we're coming close to the end of another episode, so until next time, everybody, this is Jerry Hinkle with the Jerry Hinkle program, and, well, God be with you, do the best you can, and get out of my bathroom. You're invading my privacy.